welcome back, everybody. You do not need closure to move on. You do not need a permission, a written statement, and approval for move on, to move on. Very often, people lose a lot of time, people lose a lot of hope, a lot of emotions, a lot of expectations, a lot of things go wasted when you are waiting for a closure from somebody to move on, to start living, to start doing certain things that you wanted to do. Maybe it's commitment with them, maybe it's marriage, maybe it's travel with them. Sometimes you have put so much into a relationship that you almost feel irresponsible, like you couldn't move on before the other persons give you closure. Why they are not taking initiative, why they are not taking decision, why they are not following up. And I think in this case it is very important to remember, in this case it is very, very important to remember that this person, no matter how much you love them, they still don't control your life. So if you're a lady and you're with a man that from one side seems to be in love, seems to have deep feelings for you, seem to be interested, but he is not taking any decision and he doesn't take things further, you don't really need to wait for that quote unquote conversation. Yes, we have this tendency as women, we often want to have so-called closure. We want to sit down, we want to go over. We cannot accept that the man we are with isn't showing up fully. Very often we just cannot accept that the man we spend so much time with, that we have all those plans, ideas, that he would just disappear. Maybe not disappear, but he would not take any decisions. And a lot of ladies would stop their life from progressing. They would say no to all the other options. They would just sit there and wait and hope that this man will pay attention. Uh, Hello. They just would hope that this man would finally pay attention, realize what the treasures they have, and propose or follow up with a progress in the relationship. But something to remind ourselves that you have power on your own life and over your own destiny. No matter what feelings you have towards somebody, if they are not ready, they don't even have to really explain why, because there is no end of explanations, and the explanations probably won't change anything. When it comes to men, as ladies, if there is no action, if there is no follow up, then oh well, we just have to move on. We don't have the luxury to just wait and sit and somebody takes a decision for us. Very often when we are waiting, very often, hello John, hello, a man from Dubai, hello Tufan, welcome. Let's be respectful on a live chat. But the interesting thing is the same comes to men as well. I don't think that this situation, when you're waiting for a closure, when you are, when you just want to understand something about the dynamic of this relationship, it comes to men as well. It's not just only for women. Women are usually more sensitive and they usually more programmed for commitment and for family, depends on their age and status and preferences. But men often have the situation too, especially the good men, especially the kind men, especially the men that are given the consistency, the presence. Sometimes we are getting carried away and taking the person that is consistent with us for granted. So I'm here to remind everybody who feels stuck, who really feels like they want to have a closure. Imagine that their actions was your closure. That's sometimes all you need to remember is the actions, even when it comes to a woman, if she finds excuses, if she not sure what she wants, that is also your closure. Welcome, welcome everybody, welcome. It's a little bit late here. I'm cooling off. Thank you. Welcome, John. Let me read some of the comments. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. Feel free to contribute to the conversation. Hello, Mario. Hello, John. Uh, I saw you before in UK. Okay. Welcome. Hello, Fuchsia. Hello, darling. Welcome. Hello, John. Can you guys hear me okay and see me okay? Because it's a little dark, but I am too tired to. It's it's a little late. It's a little dark, and this was a very hot day, so we are cooling off. If you want to reach out to me, I have an email. I have Instagram, and you can write a comment under the video. You can go to my about section and find my information. I don't give my personal number. I'm sorry, but I cannot do that. All right, so welcome, welcome. Sometimes we give power to another person to take too much space in our mind, and sometimes we give power to indecisive person to become a center of our life, and rightfully so. Sometimes you spend special moments with a person. Sometimes you had some very ambitious plans together. You see future together, but at some point it's not unusual when one in a couple starts stalling, starts doubting, and instead of try to have the conversation, and instead of giving them so much power to decide your destiny, sometimes you have to, very often you have to take that decision, and they will either hear you, follow up, realize that they took you for granted and about to lose you, or you will go your way and you will have other options, other plans, and you will not any longer give them the decisive role in your life. People very often get carried away. Unfortunately, when we feel power over somebody, it gives certain satisfaction to you when you feel you have power. You know, this person can get over you, or this man cannot get over you, or this woman cannot get over you. uh, it's sort of a satisfying feeling in a very weird way when you know somebody have deep feelings for you, and instead of appreciation you feel a bit of a power struggle. You want to show them, you want to be this main character, you want to show off, but in fact sometimes valuable time is lost, and it's very unfair if the person does not give you closure but they acting confused. Remember, you that you know you we still have power over our life. It's painful to take these decisions, but very necessary. And I want to talk about the situation with this guy, CEO of the this astronomer company, this infamous situation that has been going on. You know, he's actually currently blaming he's blaming the singer that he exposed him, and he's blaming the singer that he lost everything. And you know, there's going to be a lot of drama about this, but it's interesting because the wife of this CEO astronomer guy, his wife, when she saw the cheating, the kissing cam, the cheating, you know, going viral, she didn't go on the camera, she didn't cry, she didn't ask for closure, she didn't blame him on public All these years I gave you, how could you do this to me? I thought you loved me. She cut off all of the drama. Don't have doubts that she probably knew about it already and that she probably had her pain already. But the issue here is that she actually decided not to make an issue. She decided to step in her power. She saw what this man is capable of. And instead of going back and forth with him and listen to why he had this affair or, whatever lie he would try to make up, she understood what this man that she thought he knew, she probably, of course, I'm assuming that she understood that what this man was really about. Things had came to light, things had uncovered, and instead of going back and forth and having these conversations and asking him for closure, she made her own closure. She made the closure by removing his last name from her social accounts. She made her closure by just telling him, okay, you took your decision, you took your path, you decided to do these things. I'm gonna do mine. From now on, I'm no longer your wife, even though we are not, officially divorced yet. Uh, it takes a lot of strength and courage for a woman to make these power moves. Um, a lot of class, a lot of poise in a way that she did not again use social media to get attention and to go in this debate. She removed herself from the situation. She actually made a very, very classy act by removing herself from the situation. And I think that is absolutely beautiful, wise, and smart power move. When you see when the action of a person deeply disappoint you, if their language, if their actions were their language, what does it tell you? If you see that as closure, you can set yourself free and save a lot of time and move on for something and somewhere better, because I think anything is better than being a placeholder. Anything is better than when you know the truth believed to a lie, when somebody is trying to cover up an affair or betrayal or whatever it is. I think anything is better than this. Clarity is so priceless, and when the other person does not give you clarity, sometimes it's your mission, it's in your power to get clarity on your own. A lot of people are very comfortable in a situation. They may have several options or several men or several women, and they feel very, very comfortable. So they don't have the pressure to, they have very a lot of comfort from the situation. That's why they don't rush it, they not moving on, and they don't give you closure. But if we look very carefully at circumstance and then things, you realize the closure was never needed, because everything that is important you can see on the surface. um, Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me say hello to everybody. So yes, I would love to hear from you. Let me have a drink of this magical drink. Ah, Ducati Darren. Hello, hello, hello. I know your name. Welcome. Hey Veronica, how it's going? I'm in Lviv now. Absolutely love this country. Um, I know that my mother is in Lviv, and I love Lviv so much. One of my favorite cities in the entire universe, and I am praying for peace every single day. This beauty should not be aimed to be destroyed. I'm just praying. I hope you stay safe there as well. You should, if you don't mind, I would love to hear from you, from your experiences. You can reach out to my email if you would like to share how things are going for you. And I hope that you will stay very, very safe. One of my Instagram accounts have the same name as my channel. It's Veronica Olson Live Talks. You can write in the, it will be an request. So same as my name here on YouTube. I have another Instagram account that's called Femininity and First, but I have more followers there, and it's mostly for my other endeavors. So Veronica Olson Live Talks is just fine. Let's see. Let me see some comments. Definitely, I will do it. I'm actually writing a book with my experience here. Oh, nice, very nice. I want to go to Kharkiv, but no, please don't go to Kharkiv. It's very dangerous. It really is. It's really is. The city gets obliterated. You know, I have friends there, and I know firsthand about it. I mean, I don't think it's worth risk, but of course, it's up to you. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. I really do. Okay, I hope I'm not frozen. Yesterday I was doing a live, unfortunately I get frozen. But anyway, my dear friends, sometimes we get so we get so close to somebody, we get so deeply connected to another person that we forget that we do have our sovereignty. No, we have we can make our sovereign decisions when somebody is changing their mind or somebody acting confused. That is okay. We cannot change another person, but I think it's important to remember what your plans are, and is this fair? Is this fair? I see that as a disrespect when the person is promising you one thing and having all these big plans. Some people call it future faking, when you create all these beautiful ideas. Oh, we're gonna move in this house, we're gonna travel, we're gonna have this business, we're gonna have these experiences, and then the person just kind of like, well, when people get to know each other very well, unfortunately it's our tendency, when we have something precious, uh, it's like a toy for a child. When you just give a new toy to a child, they're all over it, they talk about it, they play with it. But then when they are roughhousing, and part of the toy, they damage the toy a little bit, or whatever else, or you just play with it, and it's not no longer that you don't take good care of this anymore, you kind of bored to play with it. So it's like the new effect, you just start, it's still a great toy, but you used to it now and you take it for granted. Unfortunately, in this world, very often we take better care of material things and worse care of the people that gave us something, that were there when we were in pain. Sometimes men, for example, neglect and leave women that were with them through difficult times. Maybe still dated them, still when they were low, when maybe they didn't have a job or have an issue with their career, but they believed in them, they stood by their side. And then sometimes, when the man gets things going for him, he's like, I can do better than this. And women sometimes uh do the same, but in a different way. Sometimes when a woman who never had a very loyal and committed man get finally men like this, It's almost like she cannot accept, she has to sabotage something so beautiful because somewhere deep down she probably doesn't believe this is even possible. And so she keeps sabotaging, and then when the guy is very solid and he's present and he's ready, he's committed, she's like, yeah, I'm not so sure now. When people are starting to do these things, very often they are struggling with their decisions. We have a lot of subconscious programs that run us, but this video is just a reminder that you have a power to sign off, to sign out. You always have a power to change the course of your life. The other person, no matter how much they mean to us, they still don't hold the key from your dreams. Like, for example, if you're a lady and you're dreaming to have a beautiful family and you want to have children, and all of a sudden the man you're with is not sure about the future, he does not want this, if he's changing his mind, accept it, respect it, and realize that, okay, that's good, but he can take his own decision for himself, but he cannot take a decision for you, because you are still entitled to your dream, you're still entitled to your vision. um Byron's wife has him by, yeah, I see that. No need for her to do more. She won. Yeah, she obviously won, for sure, for sure. But some women are, she still display a lot of class, because some women, they still would go into drama, and she did it the right way. She served it cold. That I have this theory that she knew about this. I made a video about this. I had this theory that she knew about all this, because obviously people at work knew. That girl that's like excited there on the photo, that was like, you can tell she had a lot of excitement when this guy, when they got exposed in the kiss cam. She was having a riot, she was having adrenaline and excitement. So obviously people at work knew about their relationship, and so I think that his wife must knew. And I have this theory, I might be entirely wrong, but I have this suspicion that maybe, you know, she had something to do with the camera girl knowing what to film and what parts of the stage to pay attention to. You never know. It would be interesting if somebody would analyze the camera girl body language, because I'm not a professional body language analyst, but what I saw was a little bit strange. Was a little bit strange when the girl was talking about how she did not expect to film high profile people. So I don't know. I think that there was something in the air. I think that there is a possibility that the wife knew about the concert, and she just decided, that's it, I'm done. I am tired of being humiliated, I'm tired of being disrespected, and I deserve better than this. And it's not that hard when you know when you know the seats, when you know where somebody going to be. you know um they are, just a side note, all of these people are billionaires. That's my favorite part, that this lady, the lady that was HR, she was married to a billionaire, she was cheating with a billionaire, like, so they have some high connections, and they're not short on cash to figure out what's happening where. I think that I'm gonna watch that video again with the CEO, with the camera girl, looking and checking for, looking and catching that million, no, $1 billion shot. Okay, billion cash cam, yes, billion kitchens at $1 billion shot, you know probably. So with that, it was too clean, too good, and too perfect. So I do have my suspicions that she did know something. It's very interesting because this guy, what's his name? Andy Byron, he's trying to sue the, what is his name? Chris Martin, the guy. She's trying. He is trying to sue the guy because he think that he filed in lawsuit that he lost, his job, his career, his family. So he wants to sue the guy for some privacy or character defamation. And I'm thinking to myself, how weird is that? So if this going on in the dark, that is okay. You were comfortable with doing all of this stuff, but you did all of this yourself, and you want somebody who just literally put a light on you. You want them to be responsible for you hurting your own life. So you created this. The only thing that that guy did, he put you on a spotlight. There is such a powerful lesson that could be learned. Sometimes when we're doing something we are not so sure about, if we only think, what if this would be on a spotlight? What if somebody put not even a spotlight but a flashlight to us or camera to us? Would our life suffer? We're all human beings, we all have temptations. A lot of people, cheating is not anything new. It's been for centuries, and some people learn this time that that's not the way to live life. When we are young, some people have very rambunctious years. Some people have wild youth, and we have all these hormones. You're supposed to mature by a certain age, you're supposed to learn. And I think in our very digital age, very digital age where everything is technology, even if it's not a spotlight, even if it's not a video called live, but let's say it's a text message, it's a conversation, it's a voicemail. Anytime you say in the voicemail or a text conversation, you should keep in mind that it can be screenshotted, saved, and recorded. Same happened to this guy, Shannon Sharp. He's he's such a loser. I think those texts are going to cost him $23 million or something like that. And also having such relationships also come at cost. So I think smart people will learn. 50 million? Okay. Okay. You see, I have fact check right here. You could be right. So I think all these public situations, they are reminders for us normal, for normal people. We also have our dramas, we also have our circumstances. I think it's a great reminder, when you're not so sure about it, or you kind of feel maybe you shouldn't be doing it. Imagine yourself on a big screen. Would your family be okay with this? Would you lose your reputation? Would you be embarrassed? Imagine when you're messing with a young 19-year-old or 20 something year old girl, and you do an inappropriate thing and some weird stuff, and you have daughters same age. You can not only lose the finance, your wealth, but you can lose respect. You can lose your entire family can turn away because you betrayed them and you did it consciously. And I think when this happens, when this kind of betrayal of trust happens, people turn away from you because they once thought that they knew you. And when you're doing something very malicious, very predatory, very immoral, those the closest to you, your family, your children, your husband, your wife, they realize they did not know you. And I think that is one of the reasons why some relationships cannot be saved, salvaged, reconciled, because people see that I have trusted to this person. I have give him my life. I didn't know this person. It's not always necessarily the jealousy or something like this. Very often it's like, I don't even know this. I've lived, for example, with this person for 20 years. I do not know them. You realize, as a daughter, as a wife, as a sister, you realize, I thought I knew my father, I thought I knew my husband, and then you see this, and you start doubt everything you have done with them because you see that betrayal, and that really hurts. Bobcat, hello. Hello, my friend, welcome back. Thank you for stopping by. Send some love, hope you're well. Thank you. Kelvin is saying it is selfishness on both sides and with the significant others. There are four situations that have made this all happen. Yes. Very selfish, very immature, um, taking for granted everything you have, feeling entitled, and feeling so entitled that you go in public and do all these things. Life is complicated sometimes, but I don't think that is the case. I think this is a case of pure entitlement. The way this man dropped and fell, I think this is even more embarrassing than the fact of the affair. I don't know. To my opinion, this his reaction, like a complete coward, is a lot worse than affair itself. He just showed. He just showed um, that this alpha male, so to speak, this billionaire is about 5 years old when it comes to messing up and then stand and take it and be accountable. He couldn't hold, um, he couldn't withstand the storm. And it's just, the irony of fate, so to speak. But I do think, maybe one day it will be proven. I don't know, somehow I feel that uh, his ex-wife probably had some popcorn and watched it, and maybe she was ready for it. That's why there was no conversation. She knew she gonna get paid, and maybe she was ready to have a new life. Maybe she did not, as our topic today, maybe she did not want to wait for um closure. She didn't want to have the conversation. She understood that her husband cannot be trusted, and she didn't care for his closure. She cared for her bank account being compensated for the betrayal that she had. But also, if that was her, I think she wanted him to feel the pain of public humiliation, because the woman whose heart has been betrayed sometimes wants a revenge bigger and larger than just a financial compensation. We don't know their story. We can only speculate. We don't know their story. We don't know how long things been going on. We don't know what kind of made up lies and stories, and we don't know what sacrifice that marriage took. So maybe she did not. I'm sure she did. She could not predict that this will go viral around the world. But I think that she wanted him to pay not only financially but emotionally, but in terms of disrespect and look like a joke, look like a clown. It's cruel, but I would say they deserve it. I think it's well deserved. Yes. In every country I've been to, hell have no fury like a woman scorned. Yes. And I think when you're in such a long-term relationship, you're building family, you're building legacy, it goes way beyond some kind of jealousy. It's just you feel that somebody stick a knife in your heart, and instead of getting closure, you know, instead of worrying about closure, trying to prove them, most women would be like, oh my gosh, you don't understand. Like, how could you do this to me? I gave you my best years of life. You know, most women cannot hold this. You know, we are too emotional. We just can't hold these kind of things. But I think she was ready. She wasn't most women. She was a woman with class. She wants to gain the most with losing the least. And I think that's what she did. That all is very, very sad, but there are definitely lessons to be learned. I was walking the other day, and I was thinking to myself, um, that this is a great reminder to just about everyone to realize it's time to clean up some dirt in your life. Just because people didn't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. I think sometimes when we have some kind of mess, we really hold ourselves back from beautiful things. Yes, as the saying goes, revenge is a dish best served cold, and that's exactly what she did. I don't have a proof. Some people reaching out to me like, "How can you say this? You don't have a proof." I'm not saying I do. I just was thinking about it. It looks too perfect. I'm sorry. Yes. Sometimes it's really hard to see things for what they are when you're in it. Sometimes we need an insight from somebody else. Sometimes we need to write things down because you feel that you don't want to lose a good person. You don't want to lose somebody. But when the person puts you on hold, whether it's a man or a woman, when people put you on hold, when people neglect you, when they pretend they don't know that you need them, when they know how much you put in into something, that you already proved your loyalty, you proved your efforts. I think it is so very important to make your own decision, not wait years till somebody else will put a stop or whatever to the situation, or evolve and follow up. I think that it's so very important to remember that yes, we want to be one, but if the other person is convinced after knowing you for a long time, there is nothing you can do or say to there is nothing you should do or say to convince them to be with you, except for moving on. I know how painful it is, trust me. It's very, very painful when you believed in someone, you give them so much loyalty, you prioritize them, you being exclusive with them, and you show them so much love. They just did never noticed it. They never noticed. For example, I'm gonna say as a woman, you guys as men, you never know that when you meet us, usually we have a fan club, I know, fan club, right? We have men who, if you have any kind of social media, if you go to work, or usually a beautiful woman have a circle of men around her, visible or invisible. A good woman would never tell you this. She would not say, I met you now, so I said goodbye to all my men. Well, usually a classy woman would be like keeping this to herself, and out of respect to you and relationship with you, she would kind of cut down on these relationships. Sometimes she would block people from the past. She would do all these things, only some months later, uh, or a year later, however long later, to be like to hear this. Well, I don't know. I need some time for myself now. I don't think this relationship will work. And at this moment, every woman feels like, why did I do this? Why did I become exclusive? Why did I allow this? Why did I trust this? It's very, very painful, but it could be sometimes from the both sides. So just a gentle reminder that we do have power. over our destiny, and if the person we're with have a different outlook for the future, we reserve the right to still have that future or that type of a future, but with another person. You know, it is painful to recognize it, very painful. But if somebody takes you for granted and think you're gonna be there on a back burner, hoping that they will remember about you. I think with social media, it's gotten worse because a lot of people, having dreams and ideas, about like try to play too many instruments at once, if you know what I mean. Oh my gosh, you don't even know. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if Adam is here. Adam, I don't know if you're watching. Thank you so much for being a member on my coffee side. Thank you so, so much. All right, guys. I'm gonna be back. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to wait. I'm going to try to be consistent with the lives and do at least maybe 2 3 lives a week. Sometimes more often. I don't know. It depends. Um, I need to look through my requests. I also have the consultations. I'm working with people. So if you need my help, you can reach out to my email. Either one that you can see in my about section or my consult Veronica with a K at gmail.com. I should be posting all my info under every video. But yes, some of you had wrote me that you have been enjoying the conversations, and I really appreciate your support. Hopefully, I will get on the good side of YouTube soon, soon enough. Um, Ducati Darren, I have a feeling she might have seen it coming behind the scenes. Yes, I think so. The beautiful women have other men in orbit. Yes, no doubt. Yes, and a woman with class, she will never put it in your face. She will be. You should just assume. As we say in Slavic culture, if nobody else is interested in you, why your husband would be, or why if no one, if one man can get interested, you better believe that you're not alone. A lot of women are very classy, they're not comfortable talking about it, and for a good reason, because it's a weird conversation. But you can just assume and understand that for a woman, narrowing down to you and making you exclusive, it's a very big risk, especially if she aimed to have family and children. But it's maybe a little bit different later in life when you don't have certain pressures. But when a woman wants to have family and children, just remember, if you believe in God, if you believe in destiny, if you believe in certain things, remember that you committing a major sin by taking her time and putting her on hold. If you know you don't really want this, you don't really want children, you don't really want this, you don't really see it, just cut it off. Just cut it off. Don't do it slowly. Just cut it off because you are stealing your time, precious time. Fertility years are the golden years. Some people that I consult have second, third, fourth, or fifth marriage, so they already done with children. It's a different dynamic. Nevertheless, this is still your life. This is your precious years. This is your precious time, and as a human being, you are entitled to know where your life is going. And if somebody else doesn't take a decision, you have to take your own decision. Otherwise, somebody will take it for you, but it will cost a lot more. And unfortunately, time is the only resource we cannot get back. As you mature, you understand how true the statement is and how painful it is to realize that. And for men who are in this situation, I think when you put your foot down, It's very important. Women respect men who have strong core. I'm not saying being aggressive. I'm not saying being obnoxious or rude. But women have innate respect for men who have decisiveness and a very strong core. And make sure you remember that. Don't think that the softer you are, the more submissive you are to a woman, don't think that that will enhance her desire for you. It will, if anything, see you in a submissive role, and it's very unattractive. It's very repulsive for a woman. Feminine women in particular, like men who take charge in things and often don't ask for permission. I know, regardless, despite of the popular belief, women don't like very often in many ways when men ask for permission, because you are ruining the polarity. You ruin this dynamic when you ask for permission, like, can I kiss you? You can ruin any passionate date, anything fun, anything exciting. You can ruin with asking the question, can I kiss you? You either have to have the guts, I would say, to do it and go for it. It's like, go big or go home. You might get slapped, you might get rejected, but when you go for things, um, you have better chance of being respected and being wanted than asking for permissions. Manergy. Oh wow. I like that. I've never heard that before. Manergy. I love that. Hmm. I wish that was wine, but this is some blueberry. All right, my beautiful friends. I know you did not expect I was not going to go live today, but um thank you so much, everybody, for your feedbacks. Thanks for the comments, and for stopping by. I'm going to look through my email and see what kind of requests I'm gonna honor. If you want to talk to me, if you have some questions, if you're not sure about something, I'm pretty good with strategy and decoding feminine women. Of course, I'm the best with Slavic women, but a lot of things are very universal. So if you need my help, feel free to write, consult veronica@gmail.com. It is also one of my PayPal addresses. If you want to request something or give you a token of appreciation, you can do that. I will post my links under my videos. I'm gonna start doing that. But most importantly, if you have some questions, if you have some concerns, ideas, feel free to comment under the video. I hope you have the most beautiful Sunday, recover in the restful sleep, and I will see you very soon. Thank you, John. Yes, this is my email, consultveronica@gmail.com, right here on the screen. It's also, once again, one of my PayPals, and it's also the best way to share your story or to request any of my services, or give some commentary. That's the best way. I do have Instagram as well, but this is right now better because I am not back on Instagram yet. I like taking my long breaks from certain platforms. So anyway, thank you so very much for coming to this unexpected live video. DVC says, nice to see you being more active. Thank you. До зустрічі, Ducati. Good night, everybody. Have a beautiful start of the week, and I will see you very soon. Thank you.